Imagine for a moment a room filled with people, laughter bubbling like champagne, glasses clinking softly like distant wind chimes. In the center, a figure that seems to draw every gaze, like a moth to a flame. This person, radiating effortless charm, appears to be at ease, commanding the room with a quiet magnetism. The air around them shimmers with an invisible energy, a subtle undercurrent that whispers of power dressed in politeness. We are, by nature, social creatures. From the time we are born, our very survival depends on our ability to connect, to communicate, to be part of something larger. Charm, then, is like a golden key that unlocks doors we didn't even know existed. Its allure lies in its seeming simplicity, a smile here, a compliment there. But beneath that polished surface runs a deeper stream, one that can sometimes be used not just to connect, but to control. You see, charm can be a tool, like a finely crafted instrument in the hands of a skilled musician. When wielded with intention, it can play the melody of influence, orchestrating outcomes in an almost seamless symphony. This isn't about manipulation, at least not in the malicious sense of the word. It's about understanding the raw materials of human behavior and shaping them, like clay, into something that suits a particular purpose. Think of charm as a prism. Hold it one way, and it casts a warm, inviting light, drawing others into its glow. This side of charm is about making others feel valued, seen. It's the warmth of a genuine smile, the kind that reaches the eyes, the sincerity in a compliment that lingers in the air like the sweet scent of blooming jasmine. It creates a space where people feel safe, encouraged to open up, to share, to trust. Turn that prism, though, and another facet emerges, one that's perhaps a little sharper, more strategic. Here, charm becomes a means of persuasion, a gentle nudging of someone's thoughts or feelings in a particular direction. This is where charm flirts with control, where influence can shape decisions subtly, like a river carving its path through stone. To wield this kind of charm requires an understanding of a few fundamental psychological principles. At its core is the art of empathy, the ability to genuinely connect and resonate with another person's emotional state. By tuning into what someone values or fears, you can mirror their sentiments, creating a bond that feels as natural as breathing. This bond, however, can become a tether, guiding them toward a conclusion or action that aligns with your goals. There's also the power of reciprocity, an instinctual tit-for-tat that's hardwired into our social DNA. When someone showers us with kindness or charm, we feel an innate urge to return the favor, to balance the scales. This principle is played out in 1,000 tiny ways every day, a silent contract between human hearts. Now, it's important to pause and recognize the ethical tightrope that comes into view here. Charm, when used as a tool of control, can dance dangerously close to manipulation. The line between the two is often blurred, a hazy boundary that can shift with context and intent. True charm, the kind that uplifts and empowers, respects the autonomy and dignity of others. It's like a shared dance, where both partners move together, neither leading nor following too aggressively. But what if you're on the receiving end of charm's compelling embrace, unsure if it's genuine or a subtle form of control? Tuning into your senses can be your guide. Pay attention to how you feel in the presence of someone's charm. Does it feel like the warmth of the sun, nurturing and sincere, or is there something sharper beneath the surface, an edge that makes you question your standing? Sometimes the body knows before the mind does, a primal instinct whispering its quiet warnings. As we navigate our complex social landscapes, understanding charm as a potential tool of control can empower us. It allows us to see beyond the surface, to question the motives wrapped in velvet words, and to remain rooted in our own values and intentions. In this awareness, we find the strength to embrace charm without relinquishing our sovereignty, to appreciate its beauty while standing firm against its potential snare. In the end, charm is a dance of connection, a complex interplay of warmth and influence. It's a reminder of our innate desire to bond, to belong. But it's also a call to remain vigilant, to protect our freedom to choose, to ensure that our actions are guided by authenticity and respect. As you reflect on the role of charm in your own life, consider the ways in which it has shaped your relationships, your decisions. Has it been a gentle guide, a warm embrace, or has it at times felt like a guiding wind, pushing you in directions you didn't intend to go? In the quiet of your mind, find the space to recognize these patterns, to celebrate the moments when charm has uplifted you, and to learn from those when it has led you astray. Because in the end, the true power of charm lies not in its ability to control others, but in its capacity to foster genuine connection, to create spaces where authenticity and respect shine brighter than any deceptive allure. Let this be the charm you seek, the kind that enriches not only your life but the lives of those around you, like a beacon of light in a world that sometimes feels too dark. As we continue our exploration of charm as a form of control, let's delve deeper into the psychology that fuels this phenomenon, the magnetic pull of charm and the subtle web it weaves. When we encounter someone whose charm seems to envelop us, it can feel like we're drawn into a warm embrace, a cocoon of comfort and admiration. It feels welcoming, and often many of us gravitate towards it almost instinctively. But embedded within this allure is a nuanced dynamic that can shift the balance of power in relationships. Charm, in its essence, capitalizes on a fundamental human need, the desire to be seen, heard, and valued. When a charming individual directs their attention towards us, often it feels as though we are under a spotlight of positive regard. This attention can feel deeply validating, sometimes awakening a sense of specialness that perhaps we long for in our daily lives. But herein lies the subtlety. The control is not in the overt, it's in the orchestrated dance of attention and affection. Consider for a moment the concept of intermittent reinforcement. In behavioral psychology, this principle suggests that rewards given unpredictably can have a more powerful impact than those given consistently. The charming individual, often unconsciously, mirrors this pattern. Their affection and attention can be sporadic, ebbing and flowing in a way that keeps the other person guessing and, more importantly, hooked. This dynamic means that when they do bestow their charm upon us, it feels infinitely more rewarding, almost like a treasured prize. This is the psychological tether, a loop that compels us to seek out their approval, often without us being consciously aware of it. The cycle of anticipation and reward becomes an invisible chain, subtly influencing our actions and decisions. Our behaviors might begin to adapt, sometimes in ways that prioritize the preservation of that connection, even if it means sidelining our own needs or desires. However, it's crucial to recognize that not all charm is wielded consciously or with manipulative intent. More often than not, charming individuals are simply expressing a natural part of their personality. Yet understanding that charm can be a conduit for influence allows us to be mindful of the dynamics we engage in, fostering healthier and more balanced interactions. In practicing awareness, we can navigate these waters with greater clarity. We can question if the validation we seek from a charming presence is filling a void that perhaps needs addressing elsewhere, within ourselves. By understanding the mechanisms at play, we empower ourselves to set boundaries, ensuring that our sense of worth remains intact and grounded. As we move forward in our lives, encountering various shades of charm, let's remember that awareness is our greatest ally. It invites us to stay present, to observe the dance of charm without getting lost in it, and importantly, to cherish the authentic connections that arise from mutual respect and sincerity. And so, in the gentle art of reflection, we find the key to unmasking the layers of charm, distinguishing between influence and autonomy, and ultimately reclaiming our space within this complex human tapestry. As we continue to peel back the layers of charm used as a mechanism of control, it becomes vital to examine the subtle, almost unseen currents that run beneath its surface. Charm by its very nature is enchanting, a quality that draws us in, often disarming us in the process. This allure can obscure the real motives lurking behind a seemingly sincere smile or engaging conversation. You see, charm can be likened to a well-rehearsed dance, choreographed to perfection. The one who wields it can be so adept at leading, we may not even notice our own steps subtly changing course. It's the art of influence wrapped neatly in pleasantries and affability. This is where the dynamics of control emerge, when the charm serves not as an expression of genuine connection, but as a tool to sway, to bend the will of others without overt coercion. Let's consider the idea of intention. Intent can be a silent, yet powerful force. It's what differentiates a genuinely kind gesture from one with strings attached. When charm is used as a tool for control, the intention often aligns with self-serving goals. It might manifest in the form of flattery, the kind that feels genuine, but ultimately leaves us questioning our own desires and priorities. The complexity of this dynamic lies not only in recognizing these intentions, but also in understanding how they affect our perceptions and decisions. Our evolutionary wiring plays a role here. As social beings, we are predisposed to respond to positive social cues, gestures of warmth, smiles, approval. These cues trigger our brain's reward pathways, causing us to feel good, valued, and accepted. However, when these cues are strategically employed to manipulate, the line between authentic connection and exploitation blurs. Let's delve into the psychological landscape of those who fall under the spell of charm as control. Often, it is not about gullibility, but about the fundamental human need for connection and validation. We gravitate towards what feels like acceptance, particularly in environments where we seek belonging, be it in personal relationships, workplaces, or social circles. The charmer knows this instinctively, using it to create a facade of closeness, a mirage of mutual understanding. Yet, underneath this veneer may lie an erosion of personal boundaries. Over time, the person subjected to such charm might find themselves compromising their values, questioning their worth, or even feeling trapped in a cycle of seeking approval. It becomes a delicate dance between wanting to maintain the connection and preserving one's sense of self. In understanding charm as control, it is crucial to recognize the signs, not only in others, but within ourselves. When faced with charm, we must ask, what are the intentions behind this charm? How does it serve them, and at what cost to me? Am I feeling empowered in this interaction, or is there a quiet undercurrent of discomfort? Awareness is the key to disentangling the threads of charm and control. It empowers us to see beyond the surface, to trust not just what we hear and see, but what we feel deep within our core. It invites us to slow down, to reflect, and ultimately to choose connections that foster genuine growth and mutual respect, rather than those that leave us caught in an invisible web of control.